Today I'm going to sow some alpine strawberry seeds. Now, normally with strawberries, I don't propagate them from seeds, I propagate them from runners, but these are alpine strawberries, and most alpine strawberries will not produce a runner. Quick mention with alpine strawberries, if they're not what's quite often referred to as prepared and ready to sow, you need to prepare them, but it's quite simple. All you do is you take your seed packet, and I prefer to put that inside a freezer bag as well, seal it up, and then stick that in the freezer for about anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks should be enough. These were in for about 4 weeks. And then all I do, open them and sow them. Now I'm going to sow them 2 different ways. I'm going to sow them in a plant tray. And this is a modular one. It's quite a deep one because I find alpine strawberries like a deep tray. And this is there's 104 cells in there. And then I'm going to sow some in pots as well. And you can see it's quite a nice little deep pot, that one. And I'll sow a few seed in that. So let's plough onto it. To sow my alpine strawberries, I'm using a very finely sieved multi-purpose compost. You can do all sorts of different seed mixes, and I would normally quite often use a soil-based seed compost, which I'd add maybe some vermiculite in, but I think this is going to be absolutely fine. This is really nice and light. Like I say, it's got peat in it. I'd normally stay away from peat-based products because of the environment, but someone gave me this stuff because I was out of seed compost, so this is going to work fine. And all I do is I bring all my compost over, and then sort of just brush off. Now we're at a stage where I need to compress down these cells, and you can use some sort of tool or something like that, but I find it's just nice and easy just to use your finger and firm down. Just you want to be firm, but you don't want it compressed. It's quite a balancing act really, but I would say you just sort of press down until you're feeling resistance. So how deep am I sowing? Well, I'm looking to fill about 2/3 of the module here with compost pressed down and then sow, and then the last third I will top dress. And these are about 5 centimeters deep, so I'm looking to be roughly around 2 centimeters firmed down. Then I just take the seed and alpine strawberry seeds are very small and quite difficult to do in modular seed trays. It's a lot easier just to scatter them in a conventional seed tray or a pot. But here they are there. And hopefully, it's quite cold today, but hopefully my fingers are warm enough to manipulate them. And I'm putting a couple in each. I'm not worrying too much, to be honest with you, of how many's going in each, as long as something's going in each one. So I've filled my modules up to this point on this one, and I'm sticking my label in here. And the reason for that is that I want to sow successionally, so I'm going to sow a few each week, so I've got a good chance of not having a total crop failure, but also I've got fresh plants coming through because I'm going to sell some of these. So this is what we'll do. Then all I do is again top dress over. And I like to firm down at this point, and then I'll use, you can use a plant label or a piece of timber, just nice that you know it's got a reasonably flat edge. What I also do is I scrape, if I'm doing part of a tray, I'll scrape that way, fill back up some of these modules, because if there was any rogue seeds scattered about, they're going to go into a module, so at least they're going to not be lost in the potting deck. Of course I could have used a much smaller tray, but this is just how I've chosen to do it. I've got my label, Alpine Strawberry, with my date on the back that I'm sowing. I would say if you get into these, you can then start going to specialist seed suppliers or through people that grow them like myself, and getting special name varieties and things like that. They're really cool, and they're quite an addictive thing to get into. So that's sowing in a module. Just very quickly, sowing in a pot, fill the pot up to the top, used another pot to compress down, and hopefully I've got the depth right. Yeah, a little bit over depth, but tiny bit more in there then. But also I want to leave with the pot a little bit of a lip, so the water isn't running the compost off. So yeah, that's going to be about 3 centimeters, so I'm going to leave it about 1 centimeter from the top anyway. And then all I've done there, scattered a decent amount of seed. It's totally up to your preference. Some people go really like, I'm going to put 2 in. Some people go, I'm going to put 5 in, and then like me, put about 10 in, because I can always thin that out. I think if I was using quite a rare one, I'd be really going for it, putting 1 of each seed in each module here, and maybe 2 or 3 in a pot like this. And then just top dress, firm down, use your pot. Probably overdone that a little bit. There we go. Use your pot just to compress down. Then give this all a mist. Just where I've been handling the compost, keep it wet. Pop those into a tray, let the compost soak up some water, and then just water them as the compost dries out. About 3 weeks you'll see them come up. Could be sometimes a little bit longer.
You may get a small harvest in the first year, but you'll certainly get a good harvest in the second year. I will be filming a follow-up video on planting out and aftercare, but if it hasn't posted yet and you have any questions, please just drop any questions in the comments section.